I was talking to my mom the other day and I was like, who was your maid of honor? Because I didn't know. And I expected her to say someone I knew. And she goes, oh, you don't know her? And I'm like, why? She was like, because I don't talk to her anymore. And I'm like, why not? She goes, I actually don't know. I have not seen her since the year after our wedding. I was like, tell me everything. This tea is 35 years old and it's the most piping hot tea I've ever heard. So my parents got married young. Like my mom was 20, my dad's 23. They have this couple that are their best friends. Let's call them Patty and Dino. I don't know if that's her real name, but I think that is his real name. Patty's my mom's maid of honor. So maybe a year after they get married, they all go to Florida together. And they're staying at my grandparents' condo. So the first night they go out to a bar on the beach and they have a great time. Like my parents remember it as like a memorable, fun night. Anyway, next morning they wake up and Patty is not talking to my mom. And although my mom thought this was weird, she didn't read too much into it because she's like, whatever, maybe everybody was just severely hungover. So that couple wasn't trying to hang out with my parents that day. So my parents said, fuck them, let's go to Disney. So my parents drive to Orlando. They go to Disney for a couple nights. And they get back. Patty still isn't talking to my mom. And Dino's not talking to my mom either, but Dino is talking to my dad. Patty's talking to no one. So they go to the beach. Dino and my dad are talking. No one's speaking to my mom, minus my dad. At one point, I guess my parents are like, okay, we're gonna go get lunch. Do you wanna come? And they're like, no, we're good. And by them, I mean Dino said, no, we're good, to my dad. So they go for lunch. When they get back, the second they get back, the other couple stands up and goes for lunch. So my mom's like, okay. They get back from lunch and then my parents go, okay, we're gonna go back to the condo. And Dino says to my dad, oh, we're gonna stay here for a little bit longer. My dad says, okay, I'll come pick you up at 4 o'clock at this street because it's 1989, whatever. Just meet me at this spot. Parents go back to the condo. My mom says to my dad, I'm gonna pick them up from the beach. And my dad's like, okay. Dad goes and takes a nap at 4 o'clock. My mom goes to the beach and they're both standing there. They see it's my mom. Without saying a word, both of them get into the back seat of the car. So my mom's now driving them around like a taxi driver. So now in her head, she's irate. She's also insane. So on the way back to my condo, there's a roundabout and she starts going in circles around the roundabout. She goes around the roundabout like 15 times because she's like, surely they will break this silence to say, what the fuck are you doing? You've been driving in circles for 10 minutes. But no, they don't say a word. So they get back to the condo and my mom literally gets out of the car and looks at them and says, pack your shit, Lou's taking you to the airport. And they start freaking out, which is hilarious. So they're freaking out. She starts crying. They're like, Christine. She's like, nope, pack everything, you're loud. Goes into the room. My dad's asleep. She goes, wake up. I kicked them out of the condo. And apparently she was laughing too. My dad's like, what? And she's like, I kicked him out of the condo and you have to drive him to the airport. My dad's like, what the fuck? So he wakes up from a nap. He goes out and Dino's going, Lou, I'm sorry. Like my wife, you know, she can be like a little funny sometimes. My dad's like, yeah, sorry, man. Like if she says you gotta go, like now the wife's on the patio sobbing. She's asking my dad if she can apologize to my mom. And my mom is inside going, no, get in the fucking car. My parents take them to the airport. 1989, no flights, no phones. You're not figuring anything out till you get there. Dad leaves them there. Sorry, did I say my parents took them to the airport? I mean, my dad took them to the airport. My dad leaves them there, never saw them again. Heard through the grapevine that they got divorced a year later. Still don't know what the fuck her problem was, but the assumption, I guess, is that her husband was hitting on my mom that night or something. She was nuts, who knows? Anyway, that's the story of my mom's maid of honor. Isn't that juicy? This gets to her. What was your problem, bitch?